Kuzambo everyone, hello Garalu. Welcome to an exclusive podcast or interview. So especially for football enthusiasts and particularly for people who follow Thimphu City Football Club. The club is at a really important juncture in this moment. So stay tuned and listen to this podcast closely. And with me I have the club president, Mr. Hishey Tshering. And straight away to the question, sir. So if you could introduce yourself a bit and then talk about the journey of Thimphu City Football Clubs.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I would like to inform all our listeners that I don't work for the Bhutan Olympic Committee or the Bhutan Football Federation, as many people seem to think, because I often get this question that I'm working at the BOC or the Bhutan Football Federation. I'm a tour operator that specializes in bird watching trips, and I was involved in football much before Timber City came into existence. But Timber City, as such, was formed in 2012, and then ever since we've been a regular participant in all the football tournaments in Bhutan, and I'm proud to say that we have always been one of the top performers.
Thank you, sir. So people know that there are challenges to run a club, and I reckon Thimphu City FC is no less than that or nothing different. But we have had some of the clubs disappearing, not being able to continue. So if you could give us a clear picture or for the benefit of the listeners, if you could run us through on what challenges Thimphu City Football Club is facing.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for the question. So more than the challenges that Thimphu City is facing, I think this is the problem that not most, in fact, all the clubs face. Obviously, we have a very small market, so as a result, there's very little sponsorship, and even on our match day receipts, and all these are all negligible compared to the tremendous expenses that we have. So, but maybe I'll just take you a little bit back to the days when we started. When I started the football club in 2012, it was not very expensive. At that time, the tournaments used to last for only about a month or at the most 2 months, and even the highest paid player would be earning only about 8,000 neutrons for the whole season. But today, even somebody who's just helping with a club, like for example, a kit man, we have to pay more than that, and it is almost a full-time uh, work running a football club. Like for example, we maintain a team, and those who are under the contract, we pay them for 12 months a year. But having said that, it gives me tremendous, and I think I speak not just for myself, but for all the other club owners as well. I think all of us are very proud that we are playing a big role in uh, giving employment to not only footballers, but people who have been involved in sports. Like, for example, this media, almost all the club have a media. Then we have physiotherapists, coaches, etc. So football is definitely one of the big employers, even though we are not given actually much, pardon me for saying it, but we're not given much recognition for the role that we play in generating employment in our country.
So I second that, sir. I have been a footballer and for quite some time, so I've seen the real struggle on the field. So now, sir, you did mention about the challenges. So what's the way forward, sir, to overcome those challenges or to mitigate through those challenges, sir?
So the major challenge, like I mentioned, is financial, and that is mainly because of the fact that, as you know, sports in most countries are run by sponsorship, but in Bhutan we have very little opportunity for sponsorship. And then the other major challenge is the fact that we need to maintain now since 2019, so almost 6 years. It's been almost 6 years that we're actually maintaining a full-time staff, from coaches to media persons to uh, general secretaries to club managers, club licensing managers, and so on and so forth. So we actually employ a large number of things. On the average, I think I would easily say we have most clubs would be employing anything from 30 to 40 people, and we maintain them on a regular salary payroll. So this is a major challenge to ensure how we can generate revenue to uh, basically keep everybody employed. And when you say the way forward obviously is now to look for more sponsors. But like I said, finding sponsors within the country is not easy. For example, for the followers of Thimphu City, you'll see Jeva written on a jersey. And if you Google Jeva, there's no company called Jeva. Jeva is just a nickname of one of my American friends who's very generous, who is not only supporting, giving an annual support to our club, but he has also supported many projects in Bhutan, including some water projects, sponsoring college students. So he's done a lot for not just Thimphu City, but for um, many Bhutanese. And then the way forward will always obviously be trying to secure a more secure sponsorship actually. And to that end, I'm working and I've been contacting some friends in India as well as Malaysia, Singapore, to see that if there are people abroad that may be interested in sponsoring uh, Thimphu City. And I think one of the ways that could materialize is the fact that all matches are all live streamed. And then if we have people from those regions playing in our league, then suddenly the companies in those countries can suddenly feel they can get value for sponsoring. Like for example, for those who follow our league, maybe the Bhutanese followers may not be aware that, but on YouTube, we have more followers of a women's league than the men's league. That is because of the fact that we have many girls from Nepal and Bangladesh playing in the league. So there's a huge interest from Nepal and Bangladesh in our women's league. So likewise, if we get players, I think most of us are getting, when we get foreign players, we're getting from Africa. But in Africa, I doubt they'll be following our league. But if we in future get players from within this South Asia or Southeast Asian region, then we suddenly may get more followers from this region, which will then translate into more viewership, which then translate into better sponsorship. But one of the plans that I have for Thimphu City is actually to make Thimphu City a people's club. Like for example, some of the big clubs in Europe, like Barcelona, Real Madrid, and then even Bayern Munich, they're all owned by the public. So I feel that may be a thing. A few months ago, the AFC actually audited, was doing club licensing audit, and they chose Thimphu City to be audited. And they asked me, one of the questions they asked me was who the shareholders of Thimphu City was. And I said, we don't have shareholders, but we have burden holders. And that actually is the way I'm trying to seek more people to get involved. So basically, uh, as we know, football does a lot of social activities because of its popularity. There's a lot of opportunity for us. Like, as you know, Thimphu City Football Club, we are already involved in raising awareness on the critically endangered white-bellied heron. We've been raising funds to support its teaching program. Then more recently, we've also got involved with one monastery, the Tashirang Gempa, where we have a supporter, a fan of ours from Singapore who donates certain amount of money for every goal we score, and then we'll be giving that donation to this monastery. So likewise, uh, as you can see, I know that Bhutanese by nature are very compassionate and generous. So I want to appeal actually to all our supporters and people who want to get. And I think football is very very popular among the Bhutanese. We have huge following. Sometimes people leave their work just to come and watch a match. So I feel that keeping the club is very important because it brings a lot of value to nation building, I would say. And then I think if I say like the word I use, burden sharing, so there'll be many people who are willing to be part of the club if they don't have to take out huge sums of money, I think. So that may be one of the ways that can help sustain the club.
Indeed, sir. I second most of your points because I have been playing football and I have at some point seen or heard about the owners struggling and all. Now, so I did mention that Thimphu City FC might be the people's club if it continues. So I reckon most of the football enthusiasts, and especially in Bhutan as well, people who have been following Bhutanese football as well as particularly Thimphu City football, they might come forward to support the club in their own small ways. So if people are interested, how can they do that, sir? Or what's the way to get in contact with the club to make sure that Thimphu City Football Club continues? Because as far as I know, there might be some people who solely depend, like their livelihoods might depend on the football club staying afloat. And then some academy players also have heard that uh, they have the only platform to upgrade their footballing career is through the academy, as some don't even have the financial background to support their dreams to play in academy, and the football club is offering them free entry in the academy as well. So it might be a really devastating, let's say, put it that way, scenario for Thimphu City Football Club to discontinue or not exist anymore. But hopefully, I think most of the people we might share the same thought that we can do something to help the club in our own small ways. You necessarily don't have to pitch in huge amount, but there are ways you can help the club stay afloat. So, sir, how can they do that and to get in contact with the club to make that happen, sir?
Before I answer that question directly, I want to mention that the government actually can play a huge role in helping football clubs. I think all the sporting organizations, not just the football capacity, but all the football clubs as well as there's cricket clubs and all that. I think we need to impress upon the government the huge employment that we are generating. I think somewhere I feel that the government may not be aware because a lot of time we hear the government trying to say that we're going to do this and that to create that many jobs. But then we suddenly find that we are here as a football club creating jobs, but we are not having much support from the government. So in that way, like for example, I'm sure you know that in many countries, it is companies that actually support football club because the companies get tax breaks from the government. So I hope and pray that our government will also think seriously about this matter and see how they can provide companies, give tax break to companies that support sporting clubs. Because it's just football and sports in general, it's not just about employment, I mean entertainment. It is generating a lot of employment. Yeah. And then to answer your question, I think now we going forward, like I said, I want to uh, make Thimphu City a people's club. So this is also an opportunity for everybody who's interested to become a part of the club. Basically, you become like an owner of the club. And then once we have lots of members, we can have elections to the various posts, the post of the treasurer, president, and whatnot. So this is an opportunity for the people to actually get involved in running a club, and not just running a club, but also play our own small part in helping alleviate the huge employment issues that we have. Because honestly, uh, like you just mentioned in your question, if the club continues, I don't know whether you are aware or not, but seriously, I have considered many times just to walk away because I felt that's the easiest thing to do. But then deep down, I realized the importance that the club is playing in. Like you mentioned, we have a lot of players. We don't pay them huge amounts, but still, the little amount that we pay is actually the source of their livelihood. So if the club does not exist, then firstly, the promotion of football and all is maybe even secondary. But the major loss would be that we will again be contributing to the unemployment market because all these people who are dependent on the club have suddenly have to again enter the job market. So that I find is the greater cause. And then I feel that knowing that many Bhutanese by nature are compassionate, I'm sure once they know that and are aware that football is playing such a huge role in generating employment and supporting in the nation building, I'm sure there'll be many people who want to come forward. So this is an earnest appeal for you all to come forward. And then right now, we have not worked out the nitty-gritties about how you can become a member and all that, but very soon we can do. In fact, my idea was first to get people interested, then after that maybe have like a meeting, a brainstorming session where we can decide on what would be the annual membership fees and all those like how you can benefit, or it's not really about benefit, but it's more about how you can actually give back to society. And then to that effect, we will be posting on our social media pages and all, and maybe we will create like a WhatsApp group, or we will contact people individually. So these details have not really been ironed out, but we will be doing that soon.
Let's say so. I'm an optimistic person, open-minded, so I don't want to sound the opposite, pessimist. So what if that doesn't happen, sir? Because there would be instances where when that won't be materialized. So then what's next for Thimphu City Football Club, sir?
That actually, honestly, is a very realistic question. Unfortunately, if we don't have any takers for this brilliant idea, which I think is a brilliant idea, then perhaps we have no choice but to say Tata goodbye, and that may be the end of the road for Thimphu City.
Thank you, sir. So that brings us to the end of our podcast or interview. But this is of great importance for all football lovers because Thimphu City Football Club don't just play for Thimphu City because they're playing as a whole, as a team, not just playing football on the ground. You might have by this time cleared your doubts on what Thimphu City Football Club is doing on a larger scale, bigger picture. So I did mention an important word saying nation building, which I really think Thimphu City Football Club is playing a role in that. Not just Thimphu City Football Club, all other football clubs that are playing in the top tier league of Bhutan, I think they play a huge role in that. Having said that, so the main important thing now is for people to come forward to support the club, to support bigger dreams, not just the club. There are other livelihoods who depend on the club as well, as you all heard earlier. So we really hope to hear and see you all coming forward for a bigger cause. Thank you so much. Tashdile Kadinche.